Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV. This is Super Sunday, man. We had to be ready and live for the Arsenal parade, Community Shield settings. You know what I'm saying to you? We got man like Souls is buzzing, he's ready, he's active. What are you telling me, broski?
Hey, listen, we beat Man City in it. It's always a good day.
Hey, man, listen, man, Community Shield. You know what I'm saying to you? It's a curtain raiser, innit? It was a mentality kind of, it was like almost like setting the standards, in it. Like we're here, innit? We left last season and we lost that Premier League, but we're here to bounce back in it. You know what I'm saying to you? But we got Robs in the building. Big up Jamaica, we say. What are you telling me?
Big up Jamaican Independence 61st. Big up all the Jamaicans inside.
On,
big
yeah,
up all
man.
three of you. And yeah, man, just ready to talk football as always.
Come on, man. Come on. We got George in the building, man. I'm sure he's going to show a bit of shade on that. That Community
Come on,
Shield.
man.
Insane.
Yeah, man, big up. Of course, here to represent Spurs and here to throw some shade as you were and throw some hate Arsenal's way. It wouldn't be right if I didn't do that. So I'm here to.
Come on. But yeah, man, talk to us, all, man. Listen, I don't mind. You can be shameless on there. You can say what you want to say. How you feeling, man? Community Shield champions, penalty shootout. You did it over Man City. You came back from 1-0. I thought it was game over, and after that, you came back, deflected shot. Ramsdale saving a penalty. Listen, things are looking up for Arsenal, man. Big season ahead.
Nah, do you know what it is? Like, I didn't know how Man City were going to take it. I didn't know what Pep was going to do, whether he'd rotate the lineup a bit or whether he'd take it seriously. But then when you see that starting lineup, he had Haaland, Alvarez, Grealish playing, Bernardo Silva playing. He had pretty much as strong as they could go other than Kevin De Bruyne. So for me, to be able to beat that side, it's a massive psychological win. It's a massive thing to say, do you know what? We're not gone. What we did last season in terms of the last-minute winners, in terms of never giving up, we're going to continue to do that. Because I'll be honest with you, pre-season was looking a bit techie because we lost to United. We were doing these draws, 1-1 with Monaco, all of this sort of stuff. Yeah, the Barcelona win was great, but there was a few results in there where you were looking at it and going, ooh, do you know what? We might have a slow start. And it can still happen. But you know what? To beat Man City, that's the one juju we needed to overcome. We did Liverpool last season. We did Spurs last season. The one team we could not beat for the dear life of us was Man City. They beat us 3 times.
Parity game yourselves, man.
It doesn't matter. Beating a team is beating a team.
And let's be real. This is what I don't like. And I don't like that I'm hearing it already. We beat Man City. You beat them on penalties for one. Let's get something straight. In a charity game.
Yeah, but does it say W next to the name or does it say loss?
Never take serious. And yes, wait,
it's a dub. It's still a win.
Wait, I'm not going to take away the fact that they did play a strong team. Man City obviously played a team and went out there to go and win, in which I did think that they were the better team throughout the game. But look, you guys went out there, you got the result, but let's not go out there and say, we beat City, we done this. You got the charity shield.
Okay, so if you win a game by penalties, it's a loss.
You won your little shield, you won your trophy, and that's it. Let's keep it stepping.
Yeah, but
let's go.
did we or did we not? No. What does it say?
Because it's the norm for you,
who won?
Oh,
I just want to know. I want a straight answer. Who won the game?
Dagger.
No, it wasn't even a dagger. But you see how Spurs always beat City. George is like, oh, come on, this is normal to us. For you,
it is though. Like they're celebrating beating City in a charity shield game. Like, bro, I beat City in the Champions League. I beat them in the Premier League. We do it every season.
Yeah, but what did that achieve? Nothing.
Okay, it doesn't. But you beat them in a charity shield game. What did that achieve? Nothing. And you're talking about beating them.
We got a plate for it.
You still could have.
We got a dinner plate.
You still could have.
We got something.
You needed extra time to score that goal, and it was even a deflected goal.
No. Let's not do this.
George, you can't do that. You got to make your luck. You got to make your luck. You can't do that,
bro. There was even 2 minutes extra, so there's 8 minutes at a time.
Head injury. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
It was a deflected
That's
goal.
the rules.
That isn't luck. You can't make that luck. That is just they got luck.
No. You create your own luck. It's not my fault the head injury happened. It's not my fault. Like. The referee wanted to add on, or the rules changed and they wanted to do a World Cup added time. We won the game as simple as. We're happy. We got our psychological win. We know we're competing for trophies whilst you're going to sit there competing for top 4. We know there's levels to this game. You don't know what a community shield is. You don't know what an FA Cup is. You don't know what a League Cup is. So it's different, man. It's all right. We get
Wow.
it. We get it.
Man said,
They're gonna
stay
win
in
a
your
trophy
lane,
next
you know. He
season.
said, stay in your
No,
lane, you know.
does this
Mad.
count? When you say we've won a trophy this season, you're going to be talking about the charity
No,
shield.
no, no. We're going to win trophies. Don't worry. This is just one of
This
you know.
season-
Get out of the way.
Saul, you know what I love about Saul? Saul comes with chess that you're
This
guaranteed
season,
winning.
Saul.
That you're winning.
Oh no,
them
wait.
trades.
No, no. I tell you now, we are guaranteed winning something.
This
Something.
season.
What that
Yeah.
is, I don't know, but we will win.
Fair, fair, fair,
Oh,
fair.
so you say you're going to win a trophy under Arteta this season?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. One of
Guaranteed.
them, like how many we win, that's up to us, isn't it? Like if we bottle it, cool. But we are winning one of the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, or the Premier League. One of them will definitely be won.
It's mad. The community shield got people gassed, you know. Got these Arsenal fans gassed. It's a mad feeling,
Hey,
you know. I
hey,
wanna-
this is how we felt last summer, and I've seen it too many.
No, no,
I've
but
seen it happen
your
too many
situation's
times.
different, man.
No, but listen. So this is what happens, yeah. City lose the Community Shield. They start off slowly. People start to doubt them. They cut them towards the middle of the season. They go on a mad run. They win the league. Like I've seen this story
So,
too.
Souls, let me ask you this. Yeah.
I got PTSD.
Let me ask you this, Souls. How what was your thoughts on the actual performance? Because if we're being real, let's take away from all the semantics and about the result and so on. You guys didn't play better than City. City actually played a pretty good game. I don't really think City performed too well. I don't think they created too many dangerous chances. Cole Palmer's goal was amazing. Can't take nothing away from it. That was a great finish. But apart from that, City wasn't too dangerous. But nor were you guys. You guys didn't really create too many dangerous chances. And when you did, it was Havertz. And Havertz done nothing. He had an absolute terrible game. So what is
No,
your
you
thoughts
can't
on the
say
actual
that.
Agendas stink, bro. Agendas stink, bro.
You think
Havertz
Yeah,
actually had a
Havertz
good
He had a
game, man.
terrible game.
He had a
You think
good
Havertz had a
game.
good game? I think
Yeah.
in front of goal he
Havertz
was
had a
horrible.
decent game.
Yeah,
The
he
thing
had a
is, yeah, you
decent
know what,
game
let
on
me
the
back
hold up. He had a
Jordan.
decent game on the hold up play, yeah. But when we're talking about a striker, which he came in to be, he played striker in front of goal. He was absolutely poor. He put
I can
nothing.
hear that.
got a
He
point
had
there, he's got a
one
point there.
chance. What do you want him to do?
The
He
two
had one.
chances, yeah.
He had two chances in
Yeah.
the first.
No. That first chance he got where Ben White came in, he put it behind him. Havertz actually turned it into a
And he
chance.
had a good touch. He had a good first touch. It was the left foot shot that was poor. Again,
Yeah, but
a pure
if it
striker
wasn't
would
for
have
that
put
touch,
away.
it wouldn't even be a chance.
Nah. You know what it is,
Havertz
though?
was poor.
Big up to Cool Guys. They're sorry, all rival fans need to keep look out on the AMT of ET given. The minutes added on 8 minutes. Come on, max 4, and the game shield have ended. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't agree with the whole kind of added on now. I think it just kills the game. It just gives more license for teams to come back in the game. Personally, for me, I wouldn't have it. But like I said to you, it was a deflector shot. It is what it is. It's the name of the game. They got their fortune and they won. I think for me, Havertz, I don't think it was a terrible performance. But the problem is, though, he will get scrutinized. If you don't score them chances like Jordan said, you will get scrutinized. They need a striker. Arsenal do need a striker still. Like, they need a striker. Because you've got to be bagging them 2 goals. Especially the second one. That was weak. My man can't even shoot, bro. Like, what's going on?
That's
Like,
the main one. I think Souls has a point. 'Cause that's the main one I'm looking at. The first one, he had to get it under, which he did well to get under, and he got the shot off. But the second one, Souls, that's where if he misses that on a regular basis during the season, this is where your fans will start getting annoyed. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's more the second one. The first one, I think we're being a bit too harsh on the first. But George has a point. That I think to call it a terrible performance, George, I think maybe that might be agenda because I don't think it was terrible, but it was it was a decent performance. Do you know what I mean? He did too bad.
No, but you know what it is though as well. Like the reason why I think he had a good performance was the amount of ball and possession that Man City were keeping, and Kai Havertz was the one that broke that pattern for them because he came in and he was like, "I've had enough of this." Ruben Diaz, he just went straight in and slid him, and ever since they couldn't get control back of the game after that. So in the last sort of 15 minutes after that situation, we started growing into the game. Now, we know Pep is going to have multiple tactics. He bought this Barcelona tactic. He was like, don't give them the ball. Don't let them have a sniff of it. But it's basically boring the team into submission. But the reality is, it's Arsenal. Arsenal played this game. Arteta knows this game. He's been in La Masia. He's been coached in this way. He knows you don't press it. Just don't engage in it. They will eventually come out of their shell, which they did. And once they did, that's when the game opened up again. And that's why I'm happy with the performance, because to us, that's one of the hardest kinds of tactics to go up against. And to be able to keep your cool about you, keep your concentration about you. Because it wasn't up until Kieran Tierney came on that we actually had a lapse of concentration with Thomas Partey. So up until that point, we kept our cool, we kept in the game, And that's all we needed to see. They had Haaland. I didn't even remember Haaland playing. That's how good of a performance, I'll be honest with you, we had defensively.
man.
That
Fair
Haaland
play.
wasn't even
Saliba
a
locked
threat.
him in.
I would agree.
Yeah,
I would
Haaland
agree that you had
was
a good
looking
defensive
average.
performance, but I also think that City had a good defensive performance. I feel like there was only the few times in the game that you guys managed to open up, and I do think Ben White was one of your key performers on the right side. I think he was dangerous. He cut down Akanji a few times, but then again, like the guys mentioned, I feel like you're still missing that one key element in attack, which is a striker, because Gabriel Jesus
Striker,
didn't have that.
they need a striker.
Havertz doesn't have that. You don't have someone that's deadly in front of goal, in the front three. Saka's good in front of goal. Odegaard's good in front of goal. Martinelli's good in front of goal, but none of them are deadly finishers. They're all just here and there. They're going to score a good goal, but they're going to miss a lot of opportunities too.
Michael King says Arsenal fish is finally fried, and why is Rice 100 million? You know what it is? I think Rice was just a bit safe today. He played very, very safe. I think that's just maybe down to him not getting with the team and understanding the game. But I think Rice I think the midfield balance is. I don't think Arsenal have a ball carrier in that midfield. They're too similar. Rice and Partey a bit too similar. I don't know if you need one or the other in there. Obviously, for big games like this, you need two of them in there. But for the smaller games, I don't think you need two of them in there because, like I said, they do similar roles. They're not enough of ball carriers to kind of play that second line. I don't know what you think, Souls, in terms of the Rice situation
No,
there.
I was
Has that got
hoping
fixed out?
we see ESR, Trossard, or someone, or even Kai Havertz drop back into that position. But like you said, against the bigger teams like the Man Cities, when we play even United to a degree, when we play the likes of Liverpool, these teams that we know are going to dominate the ball, they're going to transition us very well.
We can
That's
see
when you
Goody,
need
by the
the
way. We can
double
see
pivot.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
we
can see
can
you now,
hear
finally.
Oh, finally. All right, sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Schultz.
Yeah. So so in a game like this, it's perfect. Have Partey and Rice try and dominate defensively. Let them switch up and let them do what they need to do. But games like you said, the smaller teams or the teams where we should be winning, you're going to see Trossard play there. You're going to see Kai Havertz play in the midfield. You're going to see the likes of ESR come in there. So we are going to have ball carriers. But I think what Arteta wanted to do was find out if there's a team we simply cannot beat in the Champions League as well. This is the first time we re-entered the Champions League in 7 seasons. He wants to see whether a Partey and a Rice pivot can actually work against teams like this. And can we bring it into the Champions League? Because that's one thing we need to focus on as well. So for me, it's a perfect way to try it out. I know people are going to laugh at this, but in a competitive enough environment where there's enough of a crowd and to bring a match day feeling to it. And he tried it, for me, it worked.
Yeah. See in the access again, Arsenal fans, thank you so much for 65 million. Scamming never looks so easy. Timber's a serious buy though. Congrats to the next first losers 23-24 season. It's top 2 teams, of course. It's going to be a stalemate. Read that one there. Charity Shield jinxing coming for Arsenal, 8th finish, and start Trossard in the number 9 role. Brother is different. I think Carefree Lose is in the chat as well, talking about Havertz. Listen, the main man's here today. Goonie, what are you saying on that impeccable Havertz performance, man? It was only missing the goals for me today, Havertz. That was link-up play was well there. I think in Chelsea, man, you've sold a good player there, man.
I've tried. I tried. Remember when I came on here, and everyone is like, "Can you tell me the positives about Kai Havertz?" And I said, "Listen, it's gonna be a struggle. Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle to list it. He's got good movement. That's about it. I don't know what else really to give you, but." Today just showed, because I found quite a few Arsenal fans on the timeline saying the similar things that we'd been saying. He's getting into great positions, though. It's very positive. Getting into great positions, finding himself in the right place. But, eventually it's going to turn into, we're playing great football, but if only we had that goal scorer up top to put the ball away. Do you know what I mean? But look, is what it is. Arsenal got it over the line today. You get me? They did. Penalties. Kevin De Cobham let us down. Do you know what I mean? Missed that one. Slapped it off the crossbar. But yeah, man, fair play to Arsenal. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm not just gonna sit here and be a hater. I'm not gonna do that. There was some resilience.
You're not gonna do a George then.
There was some resilience from Arsenal. They went 1-0 down. I mean, 100th minute. I'm not gonna have it. People say, "Oh, it's a deflection. It's a jammy deflection." But listen, man, if Arsenal had down tools and had given up, they never would have got the opportunity to begin with. So, I suppose in that respect, fair play to them. But please, let's not get carried away. It's a glorified dinner plate, and Arsenal shouldn't have been there in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Let's have it right. It is one of those ones where I'm seeing a lot of fans. I'm not necessarily saying you. I'm not saying that, but I'm seeing a lot of fans who say, yo, Arsenal first trophy and Arteta's third trophy. Listen, man, let's keep it real and keep our feet on the ground. Community Shield ain't really nothing to be hopping and jumping about. Positive start to this season, yes, but get me.
Can I
Premier
just
League
read
is
some
different
Havertz
kettle of fish.
for you guys for today? 7 duels lost, 2 big chances missed, 0 chances created, 0 out of 4 aerial duels won, and 0 out of 2 dribbles. This is what you guys are calling a decent performance. It was a terrible performance.
Bro, did you watch teletext or did you watch the game?
I did watch the game, but again, I'm showing you guys.
must have definitely from the teletext
I'm
option.
showing you some stats to back up my point that I really feel like Havertz had a really poor game. The only thing he done well was hold up the ball every now and then and kept you guys in possession by passing it back. When it went to going forward, which he's supposed to be contributing on, he had nothing. He had nothing going for you guys. And as you saw, no dribbles completed. He was doing these sideways and backwards passes. That's dead performance.
Right. It's a standard, though, isn't it? I think for me, it comes down to right now, I think everyone's going to let it pass. I don't think I'm going to bash him to maybe George is coming in. But if this starts keep happening where he keeps missing these big chances again and again and again, you know what I mean? Like, that's where for me, Arsenal, do they need to go buy a striker? He didn't even play Balogun today. Hey?
Oh, no, he's gone. He's getting sold. But the thing is, Havertz we wanted to try him in this position. The reality is, Arteta's quotes have all come out and said he's playing the midfield. So the reality is, this is just one of those performances where we needed to see if he can be an option at centre forward. And for me, I think he did what he needed to do. And this is the problem. People don't understand profiles. People don't understand system. People don't understand the player responsibility. We don't play with a striker. The goal scorer isn't the middle man. Jesus isn't our goal scorer. Eddie Nketiah, when he plays, isn't meant to be the goal scorer. Do you know who the goal scorer is meant to be? The left centre mid, the left wing, and the right winger. And then occasionally Odegaard if needed. And they switch the two midfield eights, switch between them. Who's the goal scorer today?
We need to win the league now, though. We need to win the league. We need to start building now. We need to start, having a killer. Because that could be the difference between you guys winning the league, having a 30-goal striker. Like, come on. I know it's a system. I know you want to do all of these little triangles. But end of the day, it still needs a striker to finish off your dinner. Like, I don't know what you think, Rums. Is that the new way of playing, or do you think they can get away with it again, having that player that could just link up and then the rest of them can get the goals? Because we don't know if Saka and Martinelli can keep up that goal scoring form they had last season.
Yeah. Just to add on to what you said, I just think it is about fine margins, because if Saka and Martinelli, like you said, can replicate the season or even have a better season than last season, I saw it with my club. Firmino weren't the most prolific, but because you had a Mane and Salah that were putting up the numbers, I don't think the premise will be too much on Havertz, but it will be reliant on whether it's not even necessarily just Saka and Martinelli, just another 2 players. If another 2 players can normally hit like that double-digit mark, or one to get 50, one gets about 20 plus, Arsenal will be okay. But again, if they don't replicate last season, because like you said, Sai, there's no guarantees. Them fine margins can lose you the league, and then you will need a player that's playing in that position to contribute. So, yeah, it's all about fine margins. Trust me, and I've gone head to head with this team on several occasions, and you're going to need all your players to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, listen, I think people want to talk about Timber. I think Timber was quality. He's a good signing for me. Timber, again. It just depends on whether he plays consistently and he plays, Zinchenko comes back. Does he go into the team or does he get dropped? Like, I don't know. Jesus is back in 3 weeks. Yeah, listen, I know that. But then again, who's Jesus' backup? Is it Nketiah? Are you going to rely on Nketiah? Trossard? You know what I mean? What role does he have? So, but you know what? It's for me, it's a good little mentality boost for Arsenal, though. I can't lie. You know what? To psychologically beat Man City, it's good whether we can banter it all we want to beat them. This is the first time they beat them since 2020. That's 8 games they've not won against Man City. So for me, in terms of psychologically, it's a big thing. Whether they kick on now, Ramsdale's saving penalties now. Raya who? All of a sudden, when Raya gets competition, he saved 2 penalties in 2 days, in a couple of days.
Ramsdale was shaky today, man, on the ball. On the ball, there was a few times he almost got caught, Ramsdale.
Yeah, he did it. To be fair, you're right. You know, to be fair, you're right. You're right.
But then he made up for
So-
it. He had a
We
balanced
got to give him
performance,
credit.
like the Rodri
That
save.
save from Rodri. Yeah, that was a mad save. Mad save.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, guys. 1.6K in here, and we're not even on 500 likes. That's a mockery, people, man. I don't know what you guys are doing, man. Hit the like button, innit? It's free to do so. It supports the channel, support the community, man, and obviously Super Sunday, man. So yeah, man, big up to everybody who's locked in. Make sure you follow everyone's channels in it. But ultimately, like I said, Arsenal curtain raiser. You know what I mean? They won the Carabao Cup. We move now. Man City. Anyone want to nitpick at Man City? Is it just a case of fitness? Anyone liked anything about Man City?
I do think there's a clear lack of like a direct winger. I do think you can see when you're watching that team, they're lacking a width and someone that's gonna drag the ball a bit more further out wide, because that was why Haaland got isolated a lot of the times. They're trying to play it through the middle when you could see they needed to take it wide, cross it in, and let Haaland attack the box, attack the ball in the air. Because that was where they were going to get Arsenal eventually. I mean, Haaland, that's why he's strong. He's bigger than Saliba. He's bigger than Gabriel? Yeah, Saliba and Gabriel. So he can make the impact there. So I really think that you can see City do need to make a few more signings. I do feel like if they don't make a few attacking signings, they aren't going to be as strong as people think next season, and they are going to have some problems, especially with 1 or 2 injuries.
We're gonna talk about
Yeah.
Kovacic, or we just gonna just forget.
I'll be honest, your man balled out. He was.
Yeah, he was decent, man. People say he was mid. I don't know. I don't understand. Did he get? I don't think he was mid. I think the first half he was better than the second half. First half,
I
he
know,
was
but you know what it
very
is?
good.
This is the problem, yeah. Like people like these Ronaldinhos, Neymars, these flary players. You know what? There's a beauty about football. Simplicity, yeah, sometimes gets overlooked, and that's what Kovacic did. Kovacic was there, coming in deep, getting the ball. He made it impossible to play. I'll be honest with you. Like the one player, I was like, man, someone just needs to take this guy out for a second, just like put one on him, so he realizes that this isn't going to be easy for him. Yet he was the reason they kept possession, and we had no opportunities or sniff of the ball for 20 minutes. So yeah, I think he had a really good performance. But this is the thing, with football Twitter, with these younger fans, they don't appreciate the simplicity of football sometimes.
Facts.
That's true, that's true in that sense. But I think for me, it's one of them. People want to debate about the extra time rule. By the way, let's just have a quick debate. Do you guys are in favor of this extra time rule? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not in favor of it. But in the whole season, Goonie, I'll start with you. Would you be in favor of this extra time rule, or are you kind of like, not sure,
Not
man?
really. Not really, because I saw how disruptive it was in the World Cup. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if that's the direction that we're going down, then look, it's the players that you've got to think about, because there is such thing as stopping the game for too long, and that's not good for your body. Do you know what I mean? When you're playing such intensive football and then you're having to stop and take these breaks or whatever, or you're adding on extra time and stuff, it's not good for your body. It's extra stress. Really and truly, I'm sure by that period of the game, players just want to get the game over and done with. Do you know what I mean? It's not good to be stagnant and then go on again and stagnant and go on. It's not good. So
I'll be wrong. I'm not too much against it. With the introduction of 5 subs, it sort of makes sense that we are trying to sort of lengthen out the games, because as we saw, there was like an average, I think it was 55 minutes.
Crazy.
Play, which is that's crazy. That's like 35 minutes of the game, the ball's out of play. So you can see why they're trying to just make up these little extra minutes, which makes, let's be real, as fans, it makes it more entertaining for us. We're going to see more last minute goals. We're going to see more turnarounds, more different things happening in the games. Although for the players, it's going to be a disadvantage, I think just from a viewership point of view, it makes it better. We get to see more football.
Saeed, imagine in your day if it was around when Fergie was there, you would have had even more time to score your goals. Yeah?
You see you can tell people that ain't got a clue about football, brother, or even any kind of relative exercise, because this Denzel 1, 2, 3 extra stress. What's money and professional got to do with it? We're all human beings, brother. Are you buzzing? Yeah. You try playing that level of intensity, having to stop, having to start again, having to stop. That's how muscles get tight, my friend. Yeah, that's how you get hamstring injuries and calf injuries and things like that. Brother, educate yourself first before you come on here and start talking wise, cuz. Allow it.
Yeah, 100%. You got to stress that. My thing is, though, it's good. But the reason why I would not want it anyway is because I think it levels out everywhere. So it's saying now we win one game or we miss out on one game, but then Liverpool lose last minute to, let's say, I don't know, a team like, I don't know, it could be anyone, or they hold on for 3-4 minutes. It's better than holding on for 5, 6, 7, 8. Like they could then relax in their game and then score a goal. I just don't know, man. I just think for me it's a bit too much for me. But again, it just shows, the dark arts of the game where you want the little, messing around. We know that as football. VAR is enough, bro. Imagine this now, VAR plus this. So imagine now the referees take longer than VAR. And then after that, as a subsequent rule, then it's more time. I don't know. That's not down to the game. That's down to the VAR, right? So it is what it is.
But you know what's going to happen though this season? I feel like there's going to be a record-breaking red cards unless they revamp these rules, because you saw like yellow cards being given for stopping like a quick free kick being taken, or preventing a goalkeeper from kicking it out, or even accidentally just kicking the ball because the referee's blown the whistle. Like all of these things are going to add up, and they're going to be straight yellow cards, no questions asked. You can't even talk to the referee anymore. So for me, it's like even the extra time rule, all of these things. I just feel like they've overcomplicated football, and like these rules do not need to be this bad, because we're not going to see consistency. We're still going to come back to the same debates of what is the actual rules here, because we've seen Man City do it a few times and not get booked. We've seen Arsenal do it a few times and not get booked. So where's the consistency?
Yep, there you go. So let's see, man. Let's see. People say Fab tweet. What's Fab said, people? I know he's saying Fab tweet, but just let us know what he said in it. Like that's a bit more easier to kind of understand. Caicedo. Okay. This is where it gets interesting now. Okay. Let's see what he said about Caicedo, because that's the next topic.
Hold that, Deserve, you prick.
Deserve, I don't know if Moises leaves, we'll find another option. Important player. If Moises stays, I'll be happy for us. It's not my problem. At Brighton, it's possible to lose players. We also move forward. That's a bit of a cryptic message there. I mean, it doesn't really say anything.
I just like how the doubling down is happening, because a couple of weeks ago, this man was sending shots like there was no tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? This man was trying to disrespect the club and try, So now it feels good. It feels good to see you doubling down. You already know you're gonna lose your star man. Yeah, and on top of that, we signed his replacement before you could go in for him for trying to mess about with us. Brighton, these men need to know themselves in the pecking order. If we want one of your players, we're gonna come and get him. You could put 100 million price tag on him. We'll still come and get him. And then for messing with us, we'll come and get your replacement. You also better hope that we're not that wicked, and then we'll just go for Kudus as well after we sign him. Me personally, I'd love that. For all that stress that these men put us through this entire transfer window, I'd love for us to get Caicedo and say, actually, do you know what? Let's go and get Kudus and teach these men a lesson.
I think I know Fabrizio and Ornstein's come out and said Kudus to Brighton, fees been agreed and whatnot. But I have a sneaky feeling Chelsea come in last minute. And I've got a sneaky feeling.
You know what's mad though about the Kudus thing? Can I just say something? He's not agreed personal terms, so that's where I think for me it's a bit of a sticky one. He's not playing. He's still playing for Ajax. I get it, but normally you agree personal terms first before you want to move, and then you kind of sort it out.
I feel like with that one, say you can sort of tell that Brighton aren't a big club. So when Brighton come in for a player like him, and he knows that he's been linked to Arsenal, he's been linked to Chelsea, I don't feel like they even thought let's agree personal terms, because they're not going to be able to agree personal terms with him very easily. I feel like he's probably going to wait it out a week or two to see what other offers come in, which he would be smart to, because I'm pretty sure a bigger team will come in for him. He's a good player, man. He should not be at Brighton.
Hey, people in the comments, relax. Bear Brighton fans, relax. I ain't the seagull that's shitting in your chips, bro. Allow me. You get me?
Okay.
You lot need to talk to your owners. What's the name of this guy? Tony Bloom. Hey, listen, talk to him about ambition. Yeah, you can't get upset with me. We win stuff. We win trophies, but you got to do the same thing. Talk to Tony Bloom. Getting upset with me. Yeah, chill out.
No, I heard that. You know what it is though? With Caicedo though, you can tell it's he wants Chelsea, but the thing is though, you got to pay the money, and this is where they've been haggling. Innit? Brighton don't mess around. They want Kudus. They got Kudus, but is it a reason that maybe Caicedo leaves? I don't necessarily believe that. I know they've kind of talked about it. Fabrizio's put the wink in, but I don't know if it's as simple as that. They've still got to pay the money, and I think right now it's still 100 million. I think, or close to that, at least 100 million. So boy, if you don't pay that money, then it is what
I
it is.
reckon it's
You
gonna
still
be
got
100. I reckon what they said 100, they mean 100, and I reckon they get 100. That's what I think is
Wait,
gonna end up happening.
Goonie, is that 100 million like straight or like a package? You
I
reckon
don't
you can
know
do a
if it's
90
gonna.
plus 10 or
I don't know if it's gonna be a 90 plus 10. I highly doubt it's gonna be all of that money up front because that would just. I assume that wouldn't be good for us in an FFP perspective. You know what I mean? But it's true. Do you know what I will say about Brighton though? Yeah, they're well within their right to move how they've been moving because
100%?
yeah.
all the evidence points to the fact that 100 million is what they've always been asking for from before the window opened. So for them to stand firm on that, I suppose you get me, fair play to them. They won't be bullied, they won't be pushed around by quote unquote bigger clubs. And that's how you got to behave these days. You can't just crumble
Facts.
into anybody's kind of demand. So you know what I mean? So in terms of business fair play, and if they get that 100 million, it just goes to show it was worth it in the end. Do you know what I mean? Digging their heels in. So
And this goes to show for Caicedo as well. You've got to be careful when you're negotiating your contract because he dug himself a hole. It's harder to. He should have inserted, I don't know, some sort of release clause. Him signing that deal gives the club essentially more power. With I believe there's no release clause in his new contract. I can't lie. If he doesn't get sold, it's kind of on him. Whoever's advising him, whatnot, he might need to take another look.
But also, Chelsea knew the price tag all along. So have Chelsea messed around in their sense?
True,
Because anyway,
yeah,
they
have.
knew they
Blatantly.
knew it was a price. Yeah, they knew. So it's one of them where, you know what I mean? You could have got that player, you could have done obviously Pochettino can't really do anything because he's not in control. But them man Ekbali and Todd Bowley, like, you know what I mean? I know they're paying monopoly and that, but just pay the money. If you know what the price is, you know what I mean? Just pay the money. You know what I'm
We
saying? It's
tried-
simple as that. If you want the
we tried to leverage the fact that we're the only club that's willing to pay that kind of money for the player. You know what I mean? Anything close to it. So that clearly backfired. And it's like you guys were saying, you know, Caicedo signs the deal in January, but if you're stupid enough to fall for verbal agreements in business, then you're getting what you deserve. Yeah. If you have a promise, if the club's going to tell you, okay, you can leave for X amount of money, it's not about word of mouth. That don't mean nothing. Write it on a piece of paper to say by this date you should be allowed to leave for this much money to this club or to this. You know what I mean? So players really need to stop doing that.
Did they not see the
just
Harry
everyday.
Kane situation? Verbal agreements.
Exactly the same, innit? Yeah.
Really, that's just everyday life. Like if your old manager promised you something and he gets sacked or relieved, then the new manager come in, he's not going to have the same promises as the previous one. Everything has to be documented. Has to.
Facts. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And this is what I'm saying. Players have got to be very, very careful now as to what they say and what they kind of do, like how they move now. Because now, more than ever, players are going to be worth a certain amount. Even if you have one good season, you have to be conscious of what your price tag is. And you got to let them know, yo, listen, you maybe have to tell the manager, yo, listen, I'm not worth that amount, you know. So in my contract, you cannot put that I am worth 100 million. I don't know. Maybe players have got to do that. Say, put in a contract, say, when I sign this new contract, you can't say my price tag is that money. Or can they? Because they're getting paid money. They're an employee. You can't really change the terms of your employment, can you, really? So
I feel like a lot of players will start to demand release clauses. That's what will happen because at this point, you see players are starting to see that. Look, there was release clauses that you have those like, look, Grealish had like a verbal release clause. Look, it was 100 million. I think you're going to have some of these crazy ones, but I think players will start to put, because in the Premier League, we don't really see that too often unless it's smaller clubs. I think we will see that at bigger clubs, man, because, players have got to demand more power in these transfers. Caicedo's been wanting this move, and 89 million, if we're being honest, 89 million, that's more than enough for a player of his caliber. Brighton are moving crazy to ask for 100, which they are
overpaying.
They're more in their right to. They're more in their right to ask for it, like you said, to ask for it. But it's going to be an overpaying thing, regardless.
No, but do you know why it is? Because they got fleeced on McAllister. They did a clause thing with him where what was it, 35 million, 30 million, whatever it was. So they need to recoup something back and get another player to be oversold, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But like I said, that's what they need now because Chelsea, I think they're ready in a sense of everything else. But that midfield balance, man, it needs a bit of working on, man. So, and obviously, it's still Lukaku situation. I don't know whether that's gone quiet. What's the latest on the Lukaku Vlahovic swap?
Right.
You know,
so with the Lukaku situation, obviously, it's like you said, it's very much tied into Dusan Vlahovic. From what I've seen on the socials is that Lukaku has agreed personal terms. I believe it's like 3 years or something with Juventus, and he's happy with it. And Vlahovic apparently is willing to join Chelsea and the Premier League once Juve and Chelsea come to an agreement, because I think there's a difference in value for Dusan Vlahovic between Chelsea and Juve. Obviously, Juve want more than what Chelsea value him for, but apparently I think it's like a 10 to 15 mil difference or something that's amicable anyway, that can be sorted out.
Didn't I also hear that Poch isn't too keen on him? I heard Poch isn't like a big
you see, now this is the thing, is I heard mixed reports, George. Like at the beginning of the season, I heard he's a striker that he would like to work with. And then later on down the line, I heard that because he's got this recurring groin injury, he might not want to go and might not want to work with him. I honestly, on that front, I have no idea. But like you did say, Pochettino does have a massive say in it, because they are reporting that it really comes down to whether Poch gives his word for making the transfer happen. So obviously, like we're never privy to everything, but I do think it's just down to the valuation between the two players. And on top of that, I think Chelsea are more desperate to get rid of Lukaku. I just think that's what it really comes down to. And I think accepting Vlahovic in a trade isn't really the worst thing in the world, is it? I don't think it is. I personally rate Vlahovic. I think he's a decent player. Injuries aside, and a run of games and his profile that he is, from what I've seen him do at Fiorentina, I think he will fit well with Pochettino. I think that's the profile of striker that he could work well with. So I'm very much a fan of it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see what's going to go on with Chelsea, man. Tottenham, George, man like Harry Kane scoring 5 goals, man. Is that another 5-10 million on top of on the transfer window, on top of his price tag, man? Listen, man, he scored goals today, bro. Scored goals today.
Yeah, he put them away. He scored 4 goals. He had 4, and then Dane Scarlett, our youngster, Harry Kane, regen, some people call him. He's coming through. He scored the 5th goal. But no, he had a good performance today, man. It was, the first one was a pen, and then the other 3 was a few different cute little finishes. It was a good game. We expected to beat them. I mean, it's only Shakhtar Donetsk. It's a friendly. But to be fair, I do truly think that that might have been Harry Kane's farewell. If I know we got a game on Tuesday against Barcelona, so it could be that he plays that game. But I do see Harry Kane leaving at this point. Like after that performance, the way he walked off the pitch, and I know he does this every home game. He does a lap of the pitch, but I just felt it was a bit different this time. And the way we've been spending money, all the links to all the new strikers that have been out there, I do think that we've prepared to let Harry Kane go. We're just trying to wrap up a few deals on our side before we do accept it. But yeah, no, it's a bittersweet. As I said, I would be happy for him to stay, but I'd also be happy for him to leave, because it's the end of a chapter. So we need to get the money and we need to sign new players. But if he did stay and we don't accept the buy bid, I ain't going to be upset. We've still got one of the best strikers around, and that combination of him and Maddison, we saw just a sneak peek of it today. Him and Maddison, the way that they combined the 1-2, they did get an assist. Oh yeah, no, I would really look forward to seeing that in the Premier League. That would be a dangerous combination there. But if we don't, I'm sure we can make something else work out, man.
Yeah, listen, I don't know, man. It's gonna be mad, you know, man. I don't know if Daniel Levy. I heard stories about his guys run to Miami and that, and he's, you know, I mean, he's moving wild. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. Rums, what do you think of this situation now, man? Because it's getting a bit. It's like the Caicedo situation. It's inevitable, but both players are playing poker. They're both trying to long it out. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's not great for both sides, is it?
It will make me sick if this happens, but I've maintained my stance on this. I think Kane ends up a United player next summer. I think Kane stays another year. I think Levy continues to be stubborn. I think he stays, because I even read something, George. I don't know how true this is. I think we were speaking about it the other day, but if he plays the first game of the season, he doesn't want to disrespect Banj, and he'll decide to stay or whatnot. I just always had this feeling, Said, that he ends up a United player. God forbid. But even if he goes to Bayern, I think he's only at Bayern for a year or two, and he'll come back to break the record at United. I've just always had Kane and United in my head for some reason, but I don't think he goes to Bayern Munich. I could be wrong. I could say this, and then tomorrow Levy decides to accept the bid. But I've just had this feeling, man. Kane stays again, and for me, he doesn't seem like that type of player that will kick up a fuss. Like a couple summers ago, I believe he did. I think Spurs covered up saying we gave him time off. I genuinely believe he was trying to force that move. But I just feel like he's kind of come down to earth, and he's not going to force that move. And to be fair, if there's one player that can, it's him. After everything he's done for Spurs fans, I think Spurs fans would even accept it, but he's such a professional and whatnot. I feel like if Levy doesn't accept this, he's just gonna accept it himself. Like, you know what, I'm staying. I don't think he'll try and force the move, but I think he stays. I could be wrong, but I think he stays at Spurs.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of them for me, man. Because, like I said, yeah, Tottenham need to find a way now with Ange. They need to kind of move on. They need to find a way. You know, it's not good on him. It's not fair on him. Because at the end of the day, he needs to buy a striker, and there's not many strikers out there, man. I heard Mehdi Taremi might be linked with Tottenham, but again, I don't know if that's a striker. You know what I mean? Colin Wiley is just going past
Gift
you like there's
Orban.
no tomorrow.
Gift Orban's the player that we've been looking at. That I'm
It's
quite
the-
fond of. Yeah, look,
Okay. Is he not a
he's only
midfielder
playing
though? Is he a striker?
Taremi's not a dickhead. He's a good
Nah,
player.
he's a good player, but I feel like with Gift Orban, look, he's a young player. He's sort of like a Jermaine Defoe-esque. He's sort of that low center of gravity, quick, sharp in and out.
Jermaine Defoe, you know, that's a big shot, you know.
Look, who does he play for, George?
He plays for Ghent in the Belgian league. You know, he plays for Ghent. He's got last season 23 games, 22 goals. He's a prolific goal scorer. He's young. He's out there to make some noise. And look, I'm not going to say he's going to come into the Premier League and absolutely light it up straight away. But from what I've seen of him and sort of the instinctive finishing that he has, he's a player to watch out for. And I'd love for him to come in and I wouldn't say replace Kane, but to be one of the options out there to
instead of Dane Scarlett, maybe he's your Harry Kane regen. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. We've got a few different options. Like we don't really know what can happen, but the thing is, replacing Harry Kane this season, I think you're going to see a big gap in our team, regardless, because Richie isn't ready to take on that role, and whether we bring in a young player like one of these guys, they're also going to need time to adapt to the team, adapt to the Premier League, and they're not going to be ready for the big step up straight away. So it's always going to be a long time before, let's say, later on in the season, before you actually see a real Tottenham team playing with a good 9.
Yeah, that's true as well, man. But I don't know, man. It's one of them. What do you think, Souls, in terms of their situation with Harry Kane? Like, is it gone to the point now where he's got to keep moving on now? Just leave it, just kind of swallow his pride, man.
All right, if I'm going to give my non-hate answer, it's actually really bad for Spurs because they don't know what to do at the moment. Is he going to be sold? Is he going to stay? What's the plan? Do we have a plan? Because if Kane goes now, you're literally a week away from the season starting. What are you going to do? How are you going to play? Who's going to fill in that role? Ange doesn't have any of these answers yet. Is it someone that we need to go buy? Is it someone that is already at the club and we can use? Because even in pre-season, Harry Kane's pretty much played every single game. Like, I'll be honest with you, it's stupidity from Ange's side, unless he's been given some reassurances that Kane is staying, like why he's used him so much. I wouldn't be playing him personally if I knew he was going. So, because I'd want to see what Richarlison does. I would want to see what Dane Scarlett does more in that position. Because if a player like Kane isn't there, why are you playing him and experimenting with
Richarlison has played. Richarlison also scored a hat.
No, but Kane has played way too much, in my opinion, to actually understand like what you're going to do without him. That's all I'm saying. I'm not even trying to hate on it. I'm just saying for you guys,
I hear
it's
what
terrible.
you're saying. Like in Ange's, his like stance, it's been clear the whole time. I'm going to use Harry Kane until it's clear that Harry Kane's no longer going to be a Tottenham player.
Yeah,
I'm going to continue to prepare for the season in the way that Harry Kane is a Tottenham player, and I'm going to keep using him, which any manager would do so. They're not going to stop using their best player just because there's rumors that he might leave. And let's be real. No one here, even probably him himself, doesn't know what decision Daniel Levy is going to make. So until you get clarification on what Daniel Levy is going to do, you're going to continue to prepare for the best, and that's going to be with Harry Kane. You're not going to prepare for the worst and not use Harry Kane, and then when the season starts, he hasn't accepted anything. Harry Kane's not ready to play in this new system. It wouldn't make sense. Let's be real.
Mad how nobody's ready for this league. Like, I know obviously Arsenal won it, but Arsenal got problems. Tottenham got problems. Chelsea got issues. Liverpool, we're talking about now. United have issues. Like, nobody's really ready. Even Man City that we're talking about, like, won the. I'm not even gonna put Man City in there because we're the best of the rest in it. But everyone's got their own issues to sort out, man. I'm just finding it crazy that with 1 week left of the season, everyone could have a situation where they'd be like, oh man, we didn't do this or we didn't do that or we still need to do this. It's crazy because it's been a long transfer window. Like, it started on what, June the 12th or something like that. It's been a long transfer window, like it's not as if we're just starting now. It's mad, that, isn't it?
I feel like the transfer window is always its busiest in the last 3 weeks, type of thing. Like as the season starts, you start to see, oh, we need a player in this position. You start to see your weaknesses just a bit closer to the games and when the first game sort of starts. So we'll see some oddball signings and that come out in the next couple of weeks.
And a lot of
Is it
a
though?
lot of signings will have a domino effect. Like one player can go to another club, which makes it easier for another club to get another player, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I just, for us, I can't speak on behalf of you clubs, but for my club, this is just becoming a similar theme. That Arthur Melo, who hardly played last day of last season, we signed on deadline day last summer. This is becoming a regular theme for us. But I agree with you, Said. I don't think, other than Arsenal, probably no one really feels fully equipped. Like a lot of us fans I spoke to, I don't know, I feel like Sauls would agree as well. I feel like they're the only fan base right now, and you could say City to an extent, but I'd say Arsenal, probably the main fan base that feel, literally what Sleepy Forest said, that we're actually ready, we're equipped. You might like certain other players, but if you actually look what you already have, you're fully equipped. You know what I mean?
feel like it's more chemistry
I've got
building.
to dip out there. Good show, man. And make sure you guys run up
Yeah,
the
man,
light
big up, bro.
every time, but I've got to dip. Shout
Big up, George.
Yeah, no worries, bro. Love, man. Love, bro. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Rums.
I think
What I was saying was, for us, I think we're ready in terms of we don't need to bring anyone in. Obviously, Kudus is still on the table, David Ray is still on the table, but they're not players that like we need for the season to start. We're ready for the season, but it's just about building chemistry. It's about, okay, Rice needs to play with Partey a bit more. That's all it is. But I feel like that's going to be every team, and we're probably the best equipped to go into. I think we're even more prepared than City. Of course, City are the favourites just because it's Pep Guardiola. But even they're not ready because they need to bring in a player. They're looking at Matoma at the moment. They're looking at the likes of, Jeremy Doku, I think it was. So they need that winger to come in. Earlier last week it was Jeremy Doku. Now it's Matoma. No one actually knows what they're going to do. But Cole Palmer could come in and do that.
Yeah, for me, I like Cole Palmer, but again, is he reliable for what they need? That's the thing as well.
The thing that it's a bit unfortunate for Cole Palmer because if there's any City fans in here, before he got a key injury that kept him out 3-4 months, but before that injury, he looked like he was well on his way in. He was doing well in the Carabao. He was coming on the last 10 minutes of a few Prem games, and he got that injury. It stunted his development, and it's kind of hard to force himself back into that team, especially when they're on the verge of a treble and they're going for everything, and they needed to field their strongest 11s. But I agree with you, Souls. I think word to what Strictly Football saying, where they've lost what's the two players' name? Gundogan and Mahrez. They're going to try and, we could say Kova in the sense they've replaced Gundogan, not really output wise, but in a positional sense. But in terms of Mahrez's output or not, I think even stylistically, Elise makes the most sense. Doku's more direct. I don't think that's more of a Pep player. Do you know what I mean? Pep will make it work. Now I'm fed up of doubting this guy. He will make it work some way, shape, or form. But Doku's more direct at. We've seen even Grealish in his first season, he kept wanting to run at plays, and that's why he wasn't in the starting 11 lot. And he even come out and said at the end of that season, look, like, had to get used to Pep's system. I kind of couldn't express myself as much, but if it contributes to the team, I would rather that. So Doku, for me, as much as they're links, I don't think he ends up a City player. He came to our training ground years ago when he was younger. We were linked to Doku for the longest, but I don't think he ends up. I think Elise or Matoma, I think one of them end up at City by the time this window finishes.
Yeah, listen, I think Elise apparently is injured till October. I'm sure he's playing. Is he injured till October?
Oh yeah, the under 21s. Yeah, he got quite a serious injury. I don't know if it's still October, but he is injured. He got injured for hamstring.
It's got he had a surgery. He had a surgery for it. Damn.
Yeah, he ain't coming.
That's wild, man.
Then. That might mean October.
Rehabilitation, yeah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. So if he's out, then that's peak, then, isn't it? So they might not go for him then. If he's injured, there's no point going for him, innit? I mean, Doku is probably the one that they actually go for. So if he's out for a while, then boy, that's peak, man. That's peak, man. You don't want to see a baller like that. Certain man, you don't want no one to get injured in it, but there's certain man you're like, nah, man, like he's a baller in it. Like you need it for the Premier League, innit? You know what I'm saying to you? Grade 3 tear, that's serious, man. So boy, that's madness, man. Touch on Liverpool. Liverpool, I heard there's a new third bid for Lavia. Again, another saga for me that's pointlessly was going on for too long. He didn't play against what do you call it? Sheffield Wednesday. Did he come off the bench or did he come on anything
Nah,
like?
he didn't even come on. I think Russell Martin knows where Ted's at. He's made it clear. Even he said if Chelsea come in, he only wants Liverpool. But for me, the reason why I'm getting annoyed now because it is. I understand doing the low ball thing, but it's a 5 million difference in valuation, and now there's context. It's not like it's the start of the window. We're a week away, less than a week
Exactly.
away now. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I feel what will be enough though, if we was to offer 45 base and then 5 million add-ons, I think as long as it's a 50 million package,
Yeah.
I think they'll accept it. But then I have been told by other people that no, it has to literally be 50 million. But I just want to get this one done now. That I genuinely do. Ian Doyle's reported that we're going to go with a third, I believe tomorrow or Tuesday, one of the days. And
Okay.
fingers crossed it gets wrapped up by the end of next week. Because even if we sign him, apparently this came out a couple of weeks ago. Even if we had signed him a week or 2 weeks ago, apparently he can't play for the Chelsea game. I don't know why. I actually don't know the logic behind that, but he can't play for the the Chelsea game. Yeah, if we sign him, I don't know. I don't actually know the exact reason. I need to research it myself. But a lot of people have been saying he won't play that game anyway, so he'll most likely make his debut against Bournemouth, I believe, the week after. But I just want to get this one wrapped up, and I'd like, if we can, to get Andre over the line as well. Again, it's hard to really judge a player off YouTube. YouTube will make anyone look good, but of what I've seen, sometimes you don't know if they're the player that you think they are, but you can get a glimpse. You can make your own opinions, and he looks tidy. I know it's the Brazilian league, but if we could get both of them in, I'd be happy. But I think after Lavia, we need to concentrate on a centre back because I'm telling you, look, we're a Konate injury away from scary.
Serious.
On the transition, it's scary. And the thing is, all four of our centre backs, you could say, I'm not going to say Virgil's injury prone, actually. I think a lot of this has come from rivals. Rivals try and kind of go and make this sound bigger than it is. Virgil's an injury prone. Other than the Pickford when he done his ACL, he's not really been injured after that. He might have the odd game where he sits out, but Virgil is the only one that's not injury prone. But Konate, Gomez, and Matip,
they get niggles, man. Niggles that turn into like 2 or 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
They're the kind of guys that get niggles. You know what I mean? So I hear you on that one, and that's why Konate is massive.
Massive, bro. And then after that side, we're then down to Nat Phillips, who we're probably going to sell, I believe, to Leeds between the region of 8 to 10 million. And then you've got Joao Quansah, which is he's an academy graduate, and he's only playing first team football. He come on our tour with us, but he's only started playing first team football this summer. We can't rely on him because I've got my different expectations, but the overall expectation for us is to go again and challenge. Me personally, I don't think we will because we're not going to bring in what's required to challenge. But still, the expectation with the majority of fan base and the club is to challenge. But I just think after Lab, if you said to me, do you want a 6 and an 8 or a 6 and a centre back? I'd want a 6 and a centre back because I feel like with Bajicic also coming back and Lavia playing there, yes, it's not a lot of depth in that position, but I feel like once we do get a competent 6, we need to prioritize a centre back, man. We have to. But yeah, I think Lavia should get done. It should get done towards the end of this week. I think if Southampton reject a third bid, I think we walk away. Away. They're saying third time lucky. Hopefully that
it should be. It should be those souls, isn't it? Like he's not even worth 50 million, but obviously because of the fact that Man City have got that clause in the contract, and then obviously they're getting a percentage. And obviously Southampton are not going to get that much from it. Same way they did it with Livramento. Chelsea got a little bit of a cut as well. So that's what
Chelsea got about like 18 million from the deal. It was crazy.
17 million. Just like that. You know when you don't realise you got a bit of pocket change in that, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I got a little £100 here. Yo. Listen, I'm good to go now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean, bro? So I think for me, Lavia, I still think, again, like I said, centre back, they are short, man. I don't know, Liverpool, where they're going to be this season, It's either they have a title charge here or they're bad again, That's Liverpool. I don't think they have it in between. And I know it's kind of crazy because...
I disagree, Side. I think we have it. My prediction for us this season is 4th. It was, I know some people might... I saw my prediction on Twitter. A couple of weeks ago, it was 3rd, but I just feel... I have a funny feeling about Chelsea. United will be in and around there. If my bold prediction as well is Newcastle, I think when you say they have a challenge or they're really bad, I think Newcastle fall out of there. I think Newcastle finish outside the top 6. I've had this feeling, but Saeed, back to your point, I think we get 4th in Europa League. And now, if you ask me, would that mean I'll be satisfied with that? Obviously, I want to win the league. I want to win the league.
Yeah.
But I think we'll finish. I think Europa League we win. Now, I've been saying this. I think Europa League we win, but I do think we get 4th. And I know some people say 5th's enough to get Champions League, but I want big up Smokey Settings. But I do want to win the league, but I just don't think we're going to bring what's required. So I think we'll get 4th. I think we'll be in between side. I think we won't challenge, but I don't think we'll be as bad as we are last season. I think we'll be 4th and we get the Europa League over the line.
Yeah, listen, you know what, exactly. The only reason why I said Liverpool is in between because I just think for me, just about reaching top 4, there must be some problems there in it. Whereas if they're having a great season, they go marching on and then they challenge.
Yeah. No, I hear that, logic. I hear that.
You know what I mean? So with Man United, they could. I feel like they've done it a few times where they just stumbled across top 4. I think Liverpool have only done it once, haven't they? In the last couple of years when they just about got into top 4 in the COVID season. But most of the time, they've either been challenging. They've not. Like, when was the last time we finished 3rd?
The last time we finished 3rd would have been that season. I believe it would have been 20 to 21. I think we picked you last.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you.
So it was
to get that top 4. Yeah. So apart from that, it's been 2nd or challenging,
really.
or you've been like down below and you've been like struggling in that aspect. Oh, Goncalo Ramos, here we go, man, to PSG, 65 million euros fixed fee. Damn, man, that's crazy. That's not a bad deal, you know, for PSG. You know, Goncalo Ramos, 65 million euros.
They're trying to just start from scratch now. I think the last Mbappe we know pretty much is going to go. I think Neymar, this will be his last year, but they're trying to get out the old guard and the big personalities, and they're just trying to reform their team to have younger personalities with quality and build from there. Because let's be honest, the last 10 years, they don't care about the league. The league's a given. Their main thing is what City have basically done last season. They want that Champions League. That's what they set out to do at the start of every season. But I think that's a good signing for them. Good signing for them.
Yeah, that's a good signing. Champions League as well. They're trying to build something down there, man. So Luis Enrique, fair play to him, man. He's gonna get called on Wadi, maybe possibly. Dembele's on his way as well. But Dembele, did you hear about it? Saudi Arabia have offered a higher fee and higher wages, so maybe he might end up like getting swayed by that, man. You don't know.
He's already rejected it. He said no.
Oh, he said no. Okay.
Yeah, he's got a meeting with Barcelona today, tomorrow. He's back in training today. He was in the training facilities. But yeah, it looks like PSG's in him. Like, he doesn't trust Barcelona. They think they've not convinced him enough to stay at the club. So, and also it's 50 million euros. PSG are going to definitely pay that and bring him out of his contract. So,
and Saul, the relationship with him and Xavi is not the best, is it?
Do you know what the issue is? I feel like they've tried to work on it, but Dembele's had too many issues at the club in terms of not listening, you know, especially with all his injuries. At the very beginning, when it was under Valverde, it was more to do with the fact that it was him not listening to the physios, the nutritionists. He was eating out, takeouts, all of this sort of stuff. And then it was a matter of he kept getting injuries, firstly. And then like when Xavi came in, he goes, right, let's work on this. He did actually at the beginning start listening and coming back in. And now for some reason, it's like, because he's not getting his way, he wants out. He was always that player. And I've always said it, like, that's why you never get emotionally attached to your players, is the first out he had, he's gone. Like, that's what it was. He was waiting for it because he demanded the 50 million to be in there.
And the thing is, you've got to give kind of respect to Bath fans because they were patient with this guy. Like, even when he wasn't really acting the best, they were still backing him. So, yeah, I think they just washed their hands. I think the manager and the players just washed their hands with him now.
Bro, 100%, man. Like I said, I think it's a bit bad from Dembele, but that's how football is, man. You get me? So it is what it is, man. But listen, we're going to wrap it up here, man. It's been a very, very good show, man. Super Sunday. We're going to be live with you every Sunday, people, man. Even if the games are on next Sunday, I think we're back after the Liverpool game. I think there's a Liverpool-Chelsea game.
Oh,
So we may be live after that game.
Side, I won't be here for that because I'll be at the game. So that one I won't
Oh
be able to
yeah.
come. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nah, big up, man. Big up to you, man. Enjoy that game, man. And me Stamford Bridge, man. But yeah, we'll be live after that game. And yeah, man, big up to Salts for stepping in, man. I know Igal couldn't make it, but big up to you for stepping in, bro.
It's all good. Thank you very much for the opportunity again.
Big up,
Yeah,
Souls.
man. Big up to you, Rob, as well, man. Big up, bro.
Come on, every time. Thanks for having
Come on,
me.
make sure you
again,
follow up, people. Yeah, man. Big up to George and big up to Goonie as well, locked in as well, man. Make sure you like the video, people. I don't know how many likes we're on right now, but people, man, you need to be liking
Smash
the video. It
them
doesn't cost you. Yeah, man. Smash them likes up, people, man. It doesn't cost you a penny, and it just helps the channel grow, helps the channel build and whatnot. So yeah, man. Big up to the community, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow midday for another live stream, people. I'll take care, guys. Bye bye.